Welcome to the mouth of Manliness. I didn't play my guitar, did I? Hello. Yo.
I don't know how that happens. From like within picking my guitar to actually playing it on this, it all went wrong.
What went wrong?
My wonderful guitar work.
What? I think it sounded alright. It's not as good as that the other week. Like we had, like we were harmonising, weren't we?
We really went for it. I was doing like this kind of fast Spanish picking.
Yeah.
And we were like harmonising. So, welcome to the mouth of Manliness. We just started. My name is Nicholas Noyes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm loving it already. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
We just do this for an hour.
It was funny, right? So this is our wonderful guest, Jordan Gray.
Hello.
Say hello.
Right. Hello. Good evening.
You'll all know my wonderful man, Brad Action.
The sexy one.
Yes, very sexy. If you're watching video, you'll see I've got no glasses on, and I've got like glasses, but they're not plastic; they're bags. But we've been talking for a while already, and then I don't know what happens with me. The minute it comes on, I'm like, right, it's all changed now. We're working.
Off we go.
I like that though.
Yeah, it's good.
I like it a lot.
It is good.
Yeah.
So, I needed to do a quick shout out that's been waiting. I want to shout out to Muse Lovell. Muse is a brilliant name. She's 18, just turned 18.
Ah, yeah.
She is our number one fan.
Number two fan, because I think
Tramp
go on.
Tramp Man's daughter. She turned 18. He said, "Can we give her a shout out?" So massive shout out to you, Muse.
Much love.
Well after your birthday, but you're very, very cool.
Yes.
And I need a shout out to Kelly, who I work with, who was really cool. When I was going through a meltdown, she would message me at least once a week, see if I was all right.
Oh, that's nice.
That kind of stuff goes a long way.
It goes a really long way. You do that to me quite often.
Yeah.
My mate Adam does it, who we had on the other week, who's lovely. I think you fell in love with him a little bit, didn't you?
We did get on really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that you look like each other as well.
Yeah, at the time, we both had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I'm enjoying being surrounded by all this memorabilia and wonderful art. Much of it by your good self as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Can I have a still of this to use on my social media?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah.
Take whatever photos you want.
Yeah,
cool.
just say, mention us.
Yeah.
Mention
Well, it's
us.
undeniable. This is all your stuff here. This is
Yeah.
your progeny
My
there
shit
in the background.
It's like
everywhere.
your bedroom.
Yeah.
So yes. We had we could formally announce today that the Mouth of Manliness are going to be live at Camp Festival Saturday at 4:00.
Between 4 and 5.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing
On the
the
stage.
Guardian Literary stage.
Yeah. With
fucking made it.
Irving Welsh. And have you seen the lineup? You've had a look. There's loads of really cool people.
Yeah, I was kind of like, there was nothing really there that was like kind of making me massively excited.
Okay.
Except I thought, I'll go and watch Reef.
Yeah,
seen
they're
it
good at a
before.
festival, yeah. You're going to have a good time with
But then it's like, come what may, innit? You're on there.
Yeah.
So
Exactly,
whatever's there, it's a bonus. But you're the
100%.
one. You
Yeah.
guys are
It's
there.
so weird that we're...
I know,
Who are we?
Just that fact is pretty amazing.
It's mental.
It's an amazing thing. And
Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
thank
really
you.
cool.
Thank you very much.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Wait. So we're going to be there. If you're listening and you're there, then come and find us.
What's
and
exciting
we'll hang
is
out for a bit as
there's
well.
people like proper listeners who live down that way who are going to come and see us.
Just it.
Yes. Which is going to be really nice to meet people who, normally just send us really abusive messages and texts and
We've
stuff.
never had an abusive message.
No, we haven't. No.
Good.
Not
Why
from
would you
just
accuse people
listeners.
who just like talk about themselves as pieces of shit.
Yeah.
What would be the point?
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, just bounce off.
You'd
be
have
honest.
you'd have to be very committed to insult two people that are being really self-effacing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, just
Find that
agreeing
one
with you.
thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You said. You
I
are
agree.
Yeah.
Shitty bastard.
I know you're racist.
Yes. So, we're really pleased to have you, Jordan.
Thank
Yeah,
you for
it's
having
so
me.
cool. Been long overdue.
Yeah, we for those you guys won't know, I met Jordan over a year ago.
Definitely over here, yeah.
Fairly briefly. Brad's known you longer, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. We
So I stalked you at Elstree because you're in
Elstree
the
and
voice.
Boreham Woods, yeah. So that would have been the live shows then. The live
Yes,
finals,
yeah, they did all the lives there. So I think that was the year, because I did a couple of years up there with, I think Boy George was there,
Yeah.
Paloma Faith, Ricky Wilson, and I nearly killed them all with a set of ladders. I was coming out of like the corridor, and they all literally come out on the lift, and Boy George's face was like right there. It's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And I, no, it's all
Have
cool.
you read his book?
No,
I've read both
I haven't.
Or both of his autobiographies. And the first one is one of my favourite books of all time. I put it probably in my top 3.
Wow, amazing.
Like up there with Hunter Thompson.
Yeah, I've got a list of books on it.
He's such a gracious guy. He's really, really
Did you meet
kind. What happened? I was with Paloma Faith, also an absolutely wonderful woman.
Yeah, she's lovely.
But they, for whatever reason, George had wanted to have just a little hello with me, and Paloma had wanted to talk to somebody on a different team, so they took us out for a little meal, just the 4 of us. Really nice.
Lovely. Was he on The Voice?
Yeah, he was one of the
judge,
coaches that year, because he did The Voice Australia.
Oh, right.
And then that was his first and only year on the UK one.
Yeah.
And Paloma, and just nice people.
Yeah.
Really forthcoming, really he did some stings for my radio show on Phoenix. So every show would start with him going, I'm George, and you're listening to Jordan Gray because she takes it all the way. I was like, George, it's a daytime show, mate. It's a family show.
Listening.
But
That's so
nice guy.
good.
I remember seeing you on The Voice. I only saw you once because I don't really watch it. But I think like Stuart mentioned you, so that you were on it. So I was like, fucking how cool's that? Someone like relatively local. And then you did blow me away. You were wearing all red.
Oh, I loved that.
You had
suit,
your hair
man.
over to one side.
Yeah.
And you really looked like Prince. What is it? 1999 periods.
Right, yeah.
And Prince was my first musical love. So I was like, fucking hell. Like,
Thank
going
you,
for
man.
a Prince style, and you totally pulled it off. You really did. I was really blown away.
There was like I didn't have as much hair back then. I see on the video now. Yeah, it was like
So
this. It was
cool,
like
look
that,
at
wasn't it? But back then I had not that much, so they had to put something called a potato in my hair, which is like a ball of material, and then they put a fake thing on it. And right before we went on, someone went, "That's way too long." It was like, we've got 20 seconds.
Oh my God.
So I had to dance and make sure I didn't, lean too far in case it came off. That's why you see me dancing, but it's all like that. like the way chicken's head.
Go on the floor and that as
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
like
later
Prince
on,
did.
Wow.
You're a Prince fan, aren't you?
I like a bit of Prince, yeah. But and then I'm one of those people, and I'm ashamed to say, same with Bowie. Like post them passing, I got more into them than I was before.
Yeah, I'm
and I think
like that.
I've
Even the
got back
Beatles
to
to me
say-
are like that.
I'm a big Bowie fan.
Yeah.
Mostly Ziggy Stardust period.
Mm.
Fucking love Ziggy Stardust. I just love like there's drama to it.
Yeah,
And, like,
theatricality to the whole. Yeah.
And like what I like about I even think Liam Gallagher carries off the drama of the rock star.
Yeah.
And it's like, they might be really quite shit, really, but there's a drama to it, and they're on the stage, and they're like, the world is there, and they're fighting against it, and something about it I find massively.
You can't take your eyes off them.
Yeah, the story, the narrative. I think what I've learned over my whole career, and the Voice is a big thing, is that people are more. They're so hungry for a story, that a recognisable tale, and that us versus them, someone against the world. That's the story. So forget about the music or the style or anything. It is just that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you're saying, that him against them, that's a war. One person, a hero rising to take on.
Yeah.
And that's what those shows do so well. They give you the hero's journey. They take someone off the street. Yeah. And you build and build. So we look better each time. We're made up better. And the song get bigger and it's more tense. It's really interesting to be made into like a sort of an object of a story, like a political object for a few months. It's really
Were you ever like advised in any way? Did they say, "Oh, just favour, don't say this," or could you feel like doing this a bit more? Or was
They
it
were
like
so
kind
great.
of...
They were really nice. I said with the suit, I really love that suit. I've still got it somewhere. They wanted to put me in a big ball gown, and I was like, "Well, I'm a transgender woman. Do you not think that's maybe a bit cliche? Let's go the other way. Stick me in a suit, and it will be like, then it doesn't matter."
Yeah.
And they were like, "All right then," and they just made it. They made it in a couple of days.
So cool.
Yeah. Really,
It's
really
funny,
interesting.
like quite often. It's funny because that kind of happened a little bit with me when Eddie was talking about like promoting me, and he was like, "He'd be dead if he wasn't creating his artwork," and I was like, "Oh," and I felt a bit uncomfortable with it because it's like, there may be an element of truth in there, but it felt like I was being objectified for a moment.
Right,
the
turned
story
into
of
a
it.
story. Yeah.
And so he was like really up for playing the story.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, well, actually, it's true, so we can play the story. But
Yeah.
in that moment, I was like, I had to kind of step back and think, oh, it's very public. But then I am sitting here talking about all my foibles and everything. So
I think, was it the first episode we spoke about you having the injection in your asshole and going wrong and everything? So I think like right inside it. Yeah,
no, it's
bullseye.
just inside. It's just inside.
Regardless of that, mate, you had to have 2 people holding it each bum cheek apart.
Yeah, 2 big black guys pulling me
so
apart.
our level of
is this a medical thing or is it?
Yeah, no, just right. We finished that podcast.
Like a story.
What should we do now?
You have to go for a lot of fucking lot of appointments to get to that point.
Yeah.
No, I had an anal fissure, and it just basically don't heal. So they injected Botox into it.
Right.
It's fucking killer, man.
Yeah.
Really bad.
So it's quite nice that we don't really care what people say about us anymore, purely because of what we talk about ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I never cared that. So, what have you been? You've been doing loads of stuff lately.
Yeah.
Loads and loads. Tell us a bit about it.
Well, since I did music for 10 years and The Voice was sort of the culmination of that. Loved it. No bad stories. You hear a lot of bad stories about reality TV, but for me, it's great. And it meant I could go and tour the UK a bunch of times. I did Europe a bunch of times.
Did you really? I didn't know.
I love a bit of like Scandinavia and Barcelona. I go, and now I do Barcelona. I do comedy there instead of music. In fact, most places.
So how did you do it then? As a solo artist?
Yeah, just purely solo, independent.
Did you take a band?
No, I've had a band for a really short while here in the UK, and we just did a few little bits and bobs, mostly to promote like singles, like big shows, but it wasn't a touring situation. Just me, Tall Dark Friend. That's why all my social media is at Tall Dark Friend. It's just this name.
Yeah, because I remember.
Cool as well.
I like that name.
It?
Yeah, it's like it's a story, isn't it?
I think I saw you at Folk Festival, and you were was it Grace Festival? One of the festivals.
Yeah, metal.
I remember seeing the name.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's so cool. What a cool name.
It come from that time when it was really popular to have a name that was a sentence, like get cape, wear cape, fly.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm going to have a name then that sounds like a band as well. But then I've moved into comedy 2.5 years ago. And since then, it's been magic. It's changed my life. And I thought I was never going to do anything other than music. It was just like, that's what you do. That's in my veins. And then I felt like my muse flew away. Do you know what I mean? Like you got like a bird on your shoulder and it just flew away. And I didn't know what's going on. And then I realised, everything's just a bit of a joke anyway. I'd like to be in on that joke. I'm transgender, which makes people filled with tension anyway. Let me get in and remove that tension. And the removal of tension is literally laughter. That's comedy. That's all that comedy is.
The barrier.
Yeah. So it's sort of cheating. I think if you are of any minority at all, comedy, you've got a little leg up straight away because the audience is waiting for you to say something.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I've got one ear. I wonder if I could do it.
I
could just do like ear-based jokes.
I watched like Saturday night. I watched Paul Chowdhury and I watched Ramesh.
Yeah, man.
And they both pretty much kick off with like, you think I'm a terrorist?
Yeah.
You know, like they just play straight into it. That's quite interesting.
The whole audience goes, you said it, and they laugh.
I haven't
like,
got to say it now.
I do admire that because there's always a bit of me who wants to be a stand-up comic.
Yeah, I'd love to.
There really is.
I really
I love fucking stand-up and talking in front of people.
Yeah.
And I kind of come alive in a minute. Like it's like action.
Yeah.
And so I really admire that. So how did you then? So tell us about that then. So how did it work? What happened?
There was I still play music for like corporate because I play piano and I think you can't just leave it. You can't just drop it. It wasn't that.
It'll probably come back though, but it's not like you need to close the door on it. You can go back to it. If you feel inspired to do it, you can do it.
I mean, it's high aspiration, but I do have a kind of childish Gambino thing I want to go for. I want to have like a comedy career and a music career, but not just now. But I do like a Tim Minchin thing now. It's wordy comedy with a piano. Which is great. It really gets people. And as we were saying, we're just talking about Late and Live, the festival. When you've got a raucous, crazy room, even if they can't really hear everything you're saying, a piano comes on and they go, oh, right. Yeah. Well, I know what that is. I know what.
Programmed to sort of sit and listen for a minute. It's so cool.
So that's been going well. But then the big thing at the moment is that I went, I'm a screenwriter now. I sold a short form show to Comedy Central. And I'm basically just playing myself with a different name. So it's the easiest job in the world. And that's on right now. So as we're showing this, I don't know when it'll come out, but Transaction is available to watch on Comedy Central.
This episode will be out on Tuesday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I watched the trailer for it, and it's just a trailer, and I did laugh quite a few times in a very short space of time. Partly because like you're pissing up a car.
That's so good.
And I'm like, You know, like everything's so PC that the thought of a transgender person pissing up a car, seems like you can't do that.
Yeah,
and
again, it's that.
And if something seems like you can't do that, I mean,
yeah, 100%.
It's nice to have that license to be able to do it. But I was out with a bunch of friends, like girlfriends, and we all needed a wee. And then I'm sort of squatting down, and I was like, "Who am I doing this for? I could go behind there and aim right now, and it'd be fine." So that worked its way into the script.
So good.
It's like Dave Chappelle says it the best. He says the reason he makes jokes about transgender people, and I think he's great at it.
I
think
his
special was wonderful.
Really the LGBT.
Yeah, that was
all
really
these letters, the alphabet.
Yeah,
I saw that.
But there's a line in it where he says, like, no matter what you think about transgender people, being trapped in a wrong body is a hilarious predicament. And I was like, fair play. It is tragic, and of course it hurts. But then every tragedy turns into comedy. Yes, of course it's going to seem hilarious to other people. So yeah, to be able to wee up a car when you feel like you shouldn't even have a willy, it's funny. Yeah, it's of course it hurts a bit, but it's funny.
Yeah, you need to find, like, there's obviously through ignorance and people not fully understanding what's going on. Obviously, sometimes hatred will come from that, like, from different directions. But just because something is different, maybe, it doesn't mean that it has to fit into that stereotype. I need to feel like this about it now. I need to feel like that about it now. It's so nice when someone like yourself just sort of breaks that down within an instant.
That's comedy. And a laugh makes somebody's
100%.
barriers drop in 1 second.
And instantly people are like, oh, maybe
it's fine. Maybe
like, oh, fuck, I don't have to worry.
Yeah.
Because they're laughing about it. Yeah. It's funny because I know someone else, I've known a few transgender people, and like one of the people I know was quite adamant that they didn't want to have the operation and lose their cock.
Right.
And I was like, that seemed weird to me.
Right, because you think it's like
it's like all in or nothing. I want to be a woman.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then I was like, oh, actually.
Yeah, everyone's completely different.
Actually, what's it got to do with me?
Yeah.
That's the best.
As if like you're going to see him and go,
actually,
can I just check? Just so you know, before you start sort of flouncing about, can I just make sure? Right, fair enough.
Yeah,
right.
I was going to open the door for you, but let me just. Go through.
Come on.
Can you just sharpen this pencil with a knife for me, please?
But so often, so many things just come down to what? Hold on. What's that got to do with me, and why do I care?
Yeah, exactly that.
Like, why do I fucking care? What does it matter? And
that
I just think if you can kind of keep that in the back of your head, then you it's much easier life.
That's the best way with everything, though. Like, there's no reason why, like, everyone can be whatever they want to be. Like, and who are we to walk around going, oh, fair enough, you're that, but why haven't you got this? Or why haven't you got that? And
it's just something that blew my mind the other day. It was a moment, like, I don't drink or smoke or anything, but it's the closest thing I've had to one of those things where you're high and something just blows your mind and you want to tell everyone. I was like, the word transphobia, which I think is quite an annoying word, then I realised what it literally means in the Latin is not a fear of transgender people. It's literally a fear of change. It's changing phobia, a fear of things changing. So you go, oh, right, people see it and they go, I don't like that something's changed because it makes me uncomfortable. I need to get that out, and I'm going to tell that person that looks different today that I don't like them.
God.
Isn't that mad that it's about
so crazy?
Yeah.
But you know what? That almost would be better if you applied that to a lot of things. So it's like homophobia. Like if you said you're just frightened.
You're afraid that something's changed. Exactly.
Like society's changed.
Yeah.
And now we have to just.
Yeah.
I watched. I'm a big fan of Francis Bacon, and I watched a documentary about him recently. And like all the stuff that he went through for being gay, and like how they used to have to hide and everything. And it's like, why? Yeah. What do you fucking care? Why do people care? Like, how does it actually affect you on a day-to-day basis? It really doesn't. But you know, I remember like when someone like decided to be a woman at work, and all the people I work with supposedly have been through their diversity training.
Right.
Just could not deal with it. Like, what do we call them?
Them.
Yeah.
Them. Yeah. Or their name.
Yeah, it's just whatever they want to be called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What difference does it make to you?
Yeah.
Well, what about the toilets? I'm like, well, the women's have cubicles anyway.
Yeah. And I tried to say this, like, if I wanted to sit and listen to other women pissing and shitting, would I have gone through this much effort? It was quite expensive and quite a lot of effort. If that was my goal, it would have been a lot easier to just wait till nightfall. Like, this is a lot of effort to do that.
Like, you bring that up in the first episode, and they put the sign on it. It's literally got like
Gender
every kind
neutral,
of like thing. And you're like, fuck it, I'm not going to use it then. And I love it. I love that. It's so good.
I'm playing a character where she's really egotistical. And that's the flaw. So if you don't like her, which you shouldn't, you should like her for being funny, but you shouldn't like her as a person because she's got an ego, not because she's trans.
No, yeah,
exactly.
She just happens to. When you're trans, everyone talks about it all the time, so you feel like you're really special. And then it's a massive reality check when you're like, people don't really care, or they're not that fussed. But she thinks that she's the most important person in the world.
Yeah, it's so true though. You know, like quite often when I get hung up on something, and then I kind of like, you know, like say I'm not talking to a friend or something like that, and all this stuff's going through in my head. And then I realise that everyone's living their own life, and they don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, they're not really. They're too busy.
Or at least they're not thinking about it every minute.
Yeah,
They're thinking about it, but
But you are, because it's in at the forefront of you.
There's a right freedom in there when you realise that actually you're not that fucking important.
Yeah.
And you know, like like Russell Brand says, like, you know, in the cosmos, you're this nothing.
Yeah.
A speck.
And like, you just don't matter. And there's a freedom in that. There really is. I mean, that can make you feel low as well, but there's a freedom in it. But what I wanted to come back to was, you know, like around homophobia, and I'm always think, I'm always like, you know, like my grandpa used to say that he used to get really bothered about gay people and black people, and I'd be like, why are you so bothered about gay people? Why would someone willingly make life hard for themselves in that way?
Yeah,
exactly.
Why would you you wouldn't willingly do it. You wouldn't do it unless like they had no fucking alternative.
Yeah.
And if they're fucking brave enough to go like, I've got no alternative, you're like, well then you should be going, oh, fair play to you.
Yeah, I feel like we're lucky as a generation that obviously nothing is with by all means sorted out or whatever, but to have the awareness sort of creeping in now. Like, imagine being part of something that, well, I suppose we are part of that still, but like people being that ignorant and then going to speak to their neighbour and they're just as ignorant.
Right, yeah, and then you're like, oh, that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine then. And then it's like, but like, it almost scares me to the point that that's been manipulated maybe to a degree, like with media and TV and stuff like that.
Yeah, like, because if you think literally spatially, geographically, that happens, then you get pockets of people that will believe the same thing. The internet blows that open because then there's not barriers. So they have to fabricate them. They have to make sides for people to be on so that we keep having that conversation.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that is really interesting.
Yeah.
That
But
psychogeography.
We seek boxes.
Yeah.
Like to make sense of the world, we have to find our boxes. Otherwise, we can't fucking comprehend the size of the cosmos. So, but then you build these boxes, and they basically at the expense of everyone else.
Yeah.
Well, I think you can form them to a degree, but when someone else
You
comes
can't be
along that
willing to
doesn't
look
fit
at.
that box, you need to go, oh, cool. Like, you don't fit this box, I'll make a new box.
Yeah,
or
we're pretty liberal
talk to me
fellas,
about
though,
yourself.
Brad. We're liberal people. My mother brought me up that way.
Yeah.
When my sisters used to call me gay, and my mum would proper fucking have a go at them.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, am I gay? I don't know. I haven't pulled any girls.
There's that episode of South Park that blows to my mind, and it's where all the bikers come to town, and people keep yelling faggots, and then they think that people are saying that they're gay, and then the kids say, no, we're calling them faggots because they're being faggots. They don't know what gay is. They've just heard that the word faggot means an arsehole, like an idiot.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what happened with the word gay, isn't it? It got co-opted and it just meant a bit rubbish, which is obviously it's offensive to gay people, but kids don't know that. They think they're just saying, you're a bit rubbish.
Yeah, and I consciously became aware of that
to
the point I had so much guilt. I remember sitting there thinking, oh my God. Like, you'd get like a football bounded at you and you go, oh, gay lords, and it's like, oh my God, like why have people let me say? Not now, I'm talking about when I was 6 or whatever. But
why people let me say?
Like, where were the adults?
No,
Like,
but
why were people
you know
going,
what?
no, that's not cool. You know,
What occurred to me though, and this was that actually, like, being gay was illegal in like until 61.
Bloody hell.
What, here?
What's that?
Yeah, in England. So
Really?
it's
I didn't
illegal
know that.
until 61. So So if you think like
That's still
I
one
was born
generation.
in 74, in the 80s, like our parents and our parents' parents like
Lived
came
in a
from the
time,
position that
yeah.
that's illegal and it's wrong.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I never
So
even
if you
considered
have
that.
to kind of put it into some kind of context.
Yeah, of
so
course.
like in the 80s when I was growing up, you know, if you were called a bender,
Yeah.
like it was reasonably normal.
It's because you had a silk shirt on or something, or like you put gel in your hair
I
or
was
something.
always called a bender constantly.
Yeah, me too.
Constantly. And I think I was called that because I was kind of sensitive.
Yeah, I was
And
musical.
now I'm like, fucking yeah, man.
Yeah, all the things that it's all of value now. All those
Yeah.
things are what you want to aspire to.
Yeah.
To some extent. So we were. So hold on, I want to go back.
Yeah.
Because we've gone on a tangent. But what I do want to do is, so you've got the TV show,
Yeah.
which does look really good, and I'm really not blowing smoke up your ass
man.
because it was a bit like it's got a little bit of in betweeners to it.
Yeah. I really wanted to be able to use that language. That's how I speak, and it is very puerile. But I think it's really funny when you can go, like Russell Brand does, from very lofty subjects, very eloquently, and then throw in words like bumhole or whatever,
Yeah.
and it just fits because you're like, and that in people's minds, that's a really nice thing.
It's a leveler. Like,
Yeah.
It's a level playing field then for everyone almost.
Yeah. And the in-betweeners did that really well. So they would deal with like, it's just so lofty things. Really, you know, it's people, isn't it? Interacting with people and angst and teenage angst, whatever. This is this is about people and their place in the world. And I do just think it's nice to be able to be really puerile and childish about it because the subjects I care a lot about. So then hopefully it plays off.
It just it kind of just makes it accessible in many ways.
Yeah.
But it's like talking about a serious fucking thing.
Yeah.
But in a silly way. And as you say, like if it's funny, then people will listen.
You got more characters coming in this week, haven't you? I think. Another character.
There's I wouldn't list the cast, but we do with every kind of every touchstone subject. There's like an episode where I try to out hate crime this African American woman by saying, "Oh, listen to what I have to go through," and she's explained to me that, like, I say I'm not being racist, and she's like, "You can't say that you're not. You can say that you're trying not to be, but you can't." So there's always a little undercurrent of some social change going on.
Cool.
With my friend Will Robbins, he's got proportional dwarfism, so he's in a lot of episodes. So, but
is that the blonde-haired guy? Who's the blonde-haired guy?
The blonde-haired guy, Tom Gray. What he's best known for is that stag do video on YouTube where he goes out. He plays a character.
Oh, is he the one who goes, "Oh, he's posh and he's had a wonderful night"?
It's like,
really?
Don't leave me out. That guy. But he's done so much since then. But yeah, he went viral with that. Yeah. So he's plays opposite.
Did he start his career off of that?
He did so many YouTube videos, and that was one that really hit. He's a great character actor.
Yeah. I really liked him in the show.
Yeah, he does hold it together really, really well. He's props to him. He's not feeling very well at the moment. So if you're listening, Tom, feel better, mate.
Tom.
Yeah.
Also, we care about you.
We do, but also we've already filmed it. So
yeah.
Like that. So thanks for your efforts, but I hope you feel better as well.
Yeah.
So you wrote it though, like that's the thing, right? When it came up, when I looked at the trailer and it came up that you'd written it, created by and written by, like that kind of blows my mind because you know, like Prince albums. Produced, performed, and so you know, like that kind of blows me away. Really, is that you actually kind of you did it all.
I think it's important to auteur it, isn't it? You go from conception to genesis to creating it. It feels really important with as few hands as possible. But then Viacom, who owns Comedy Central, who made it, why am I talking to it like? Let me explain to you what business is.
It's not TED Talk.
Yeah, there's such a massive machine, so they could have changed whatever they wanted, and they gave me so much freedom. It's really cool what they let me do.
That's even like because you kind of like I have in mind that they'd sit you down in front of like a big boardroom table and they go, "Oh, we don't like this and we like this, and you have to have like this in it, and Simon Cowell's got to be in it, and this has got to happen, and that and everything."
Yeah,
else.
like focus.
It's so nice that you can really. There is still that pure form of like you really can take something to someone and now go, "Do you know, we fucking love this. Like, we really want to see it come to fruition."
Yeah, like maybe don't say this word.
It's so cool.
Thank
really,
you,
really
man.
cool.
It's inspiring, man, when someone goes and does something for themselves. Like, I dig that.
Yeah, really, really cool.
So then, what you said you've got Edinburgh coming up.
Yeah, right. So it's called X-Man because I'm an X-Man.
Amazing.
So it's like the idea being that I think I'm the next stage.
Well, not DVD, but
DVD, Grandad.
But it's this joke about that I think I'm the next stage of human evolution, like, which I don't believe in real life, but my an exaggerated version of me might see myself and go, oh yeah, this is like what humans are going to look like from the future. I'm a superhero. So
that's amazing.
So it's a show about superheroes.
That's cool. I like that.
So you're doing the full? It's not. Is it a month?
You do the full month. It's all of August. You don't have to do the whole thing, but I think why not? In for a penny, in for a pound. Like,
you might as
and
well.
it's a proper bloody
You're
hard going.
essentially living up there, living and breathing the whole thing.
It's a baptism of fire. I said to you before we started recording, I took an hour up there thinking it was perfect. It was all done. I thought I was the best comedian in the world, and then it just beat me up. The month just like failing upwards all month until I was really proud of it by the end. But it's good for your ego to go up there.
You have to go through that though, don't you?
Yeah.
Start playing in the bad.
Like evolve over the
shit
month
for a while.
Like you have to change it and
You find what works for people that you thought worked really well in your head. Maybe you might take it out by the end because it wasn't getting a big laugh. You've only got so much time on stage. An hour feels like a long time, but it's not.
No, it goes.
You should be getting laughs every second. You really should.
So do you think the reason? Do you think stuff like doing the voice helped you get recognition so you're able to do that kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely. No two ways about it. Like, I don't watch really a lot of reality TV, and I never thought I'd do anything like that. But they called me. TV people, by the way, nicest people in the world. They make you feel like a million bucks, obviously.
Yeah, they are nice.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, we've been wanting to talk to you for ages. Not true, but like, I'm like, oh, go on. What do you want to say? So, it opened a lot of doors, and I mean now even in comedy, so it's not relevant to comedy, but they can say as seen on The Voice, and people go, oh, I might go see that person. There's some pedigree there. It meant that I met lots of amazing people, like Paloma, my coach. She put me in her last music video and credited me as a comedian. Isn't that lovely? So she's acknowledged. So at the end of her video, everyone that was in it, like a little credits come up. And it's like a comedian. Yeah,
that's cool.
Oh, she was your coach.
She was my coach on The Voice. Yeah.
I can't quite. I've got a soft spot for
her.
That.
She's lovely.
I know Pip's quite good friends with her.
They went to Brit school, I think. Don't quote me on that.
Pip didn't go to Brit school, did he?
I think he did.
No.
Well, they definitely gigged a lot together, for sure.
They're friends. They're definitely friends.
I know they're friends.
Yeah.
So when you go, like, as far as like transitioning goes.
Yeah.
So for me, when I think about it, I just imagine you were fucking miserable as shit when you were a male.
Yeah, that's it. It's
just like incredibly miserable and trying to make sense of everything. And I just can't think of anything worse.
Yeah, you internalize that feeling of, well, everything must just be shit and grey then, because I think, oh, I'm an intelligent person and I'm miserable, so the world just must be miserable.
Yeah, that's
then there's
what
that
I
thing
do.
of
That's what I do.
because you're like, well, I should know better, and if I am as clever as I think I am and everything's shit, I must be right. And then there's a little tick thing goes off. I think the fear of because it's a scary thing to think, I'm going to do this one day, I'm going to change. But the fear of not doing it overtakes the fear of doing it, and then it becomes easy because you're like, well, yeah, of course it'd be scary to put on earrings one day in front of my dad or whatever, but it's scarier to live the rest of my life in absolute fucking turmoil. Yeah. So you kind of becomes easy. Plus, if you work in entertainment, it's a soft landing. We're all very liberal people, so
I guess so,
I show up and I've got boobs one day, and they'll be like, oh right, well, that's showbiz. So I keep hitting this mic. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh man.
It is funny.
It's funny what you say, because I think, like, for me, that's always been my thing. I'm like, well, I think everything's shit, and I can make sense of everything.
Right.
So everything is shit.
Right. Yeah.
And I was just having that conversation with my wife tonight, and just thinking, oh fuck, suicide's coming back, and but I don't know. In some ways, I'm jealous because you had an answer.
Maybe that's like, I don't know. It's up. But I was talking to somebody this morning, like. You get people that transition and then they transition back, which is like it's surrounded by so much shame because we all go, oh, well done, like that's great, and then they transition back and like, oh, you tricked me. And I think, is it because they thought their life was suddenly going to be perfect, and then they're like, I'm still unhappy because there's something at the core that make them happy, and they're like, well, this didn't work, maybe I was better as a boy or a girl or whatever.
That's true.
So it makes everything 90% better, and then there's 10% of like there's still taxes or I don't know, hard things. I'm really happy now, and I relate to people better. I've not got the skill set to be a man, I do not operate well in that sphere.
See, I often think I haven't though. I genuinely do.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got the skill set to be a man.
It maybe and the way I say it, maybe it's quite reductive because
No, I wasn't saying it in those terms,
Yeah.
but like I can kind of like
Yeah.
agree with what you say. I often think that.
Yeah, it's like that. This is I'm really banging into like evolutionary biology and psychology. I won't go on about it, but the crux is that thing of females. It's written into the genes, into the brain, to keep the group together, a small group, not as big groups of friends we have today, but our little tribe. We keep it together. You look someone in the eye and you say, "Are you all right?" They say, "I'm all right." You're all together. We're all happy. So the men get home and then everything's fine. Men, it's about solving the problems, providing, bringing things back, setting a hierarchy so everything works. Those two things gel quite well, but there's always going to be some conflict. My skill set is to keep people closely and tightly together, and as a guy that can be misread, and certainly other guys don't like you to see you do that. You guys are what I'll describe to people as like woke blokes, and I mean that in like the best way. I think that's a really nice way. You're elevated consciously, and it's just nice. You're able to talk about your feelings and confer with each other like with zero barrier. You just say what you're thinking to each other, and that can be misread by, I don't know, a certain type of guy as not a weakness, but like why are you disrupting? Being a bit gay. Why are you disrupting things? And I couldn't handle that. So maybe I've transitioned like just pragmatically, like, well, I'd like my life to be easier, but I'd like to still keep doing the thing I think I'm good at. So I'll do that as a woman instead.
Well, so you're just lazy, basically.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to make it easier for me.
Yeah, because like I say that, but what is the skill set?
Yeah, it's amazing.
All of it.
That's so cool.
It's quite nice, really. Yeah. But then you think, so what have you noticed? What are the differences?
Oh, it's so weird. It's like there's genetics and there's epigenetics. Like you've got genes, but they can switch on and off. So my brain switched off a bunch of genes. The male brain is designed to hunt in a 3D space and know where things are. We'd stay. We like my ancestors that were like
no, it's because we haven't evolved. We've evolved a lot, but like fundamentally we are still all cave people.
Yeah.
Like this is what I go through like with therapy. The idea that our brains are still cavemen.
Yeah.
You know,
Impulsive
in many ways.
Yeah.
And like men behave a certain way, and like we're really only looking to try and protect ourselves at all times. But it's interesting you say like, with men, like if I was to talk about my feelings, most men, like, well, for years when I was, I've been depressed all my life, but I wouldn't ever talk to my friends about it, particularly, because they'd be like, oh, you're really ruining
the vibe. Yeah, but then,
shut up.
Imagine compressing all that in. I've not had to compress anything for years, and to think that you have to do that sometimes in certain spaces, that blows my mind. It is really odd to have lived both sides of it, because one thing I get all the time is I quite like, if I'm down, I listen to like motivational videos, and it's all the language used is all, be a man. He steps up to the plate. He.
Yeah.
And I would never have known that before. But there's just not that signal is not out there for women. So I saw Captain Marvel. I love the Marvel movies, and it made me cry. And I know that's not a popular opinion because it's not one of the best received movies, but it filled that space for me of like a powerful woman. Yeah, and it was, but without like her
cliche.
Right, I thought you were going to say cleavage.
Cleavage.
I was going to say cliche
like
cleavage.
Wonder Woman.
Her outfit is practical. She's a hero. She's not a sexualized object.
I've been watching. Have you watched The Boys on Netflix?
No, I've not seen it yet.
Really
I'm looking forward to it though.
Yeah,
it's really good. And like the kind of the main female character in it, she's absolutely adorable.
Right. Yeah.
And like they want her to put on, like it's basically they make it corporatize it, and they want her to put on like a really little costume on and that. And she's like, well, that's not what I am.
Yeah.
Oh, in the story they want to corporatize the heroes. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Oh, you not seen it?
No.
Well, I thought like
it's really good. It's
I'm
dark,
looking forward to it.
it's pretty
even
gruesome.
What's that one we were talking about the other week? The End of the Fucking World.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like the girl in that's such a strong character. Like almost like you. What's the
Yeah, but you have to remember, like the thing is, like what I find quite interesting is about gender roles and that kind of thing. So she was basically the male wasn't stepping up and being the man,
right.
and he was probably like me. So he wasn't stepping up and being the man. So she was taking the place and playing the male role.
Yeah.
So so everything she did, like as a man, you're like, oh, actually, she's amazing. And like, but a lot of men will probably be like, oh, she's a wanker.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting, though. You see, I'm quite interested in that kind of thing.
I love it.
You know, just the observations you see in people and how people like play. So you must do that a lot, though. You must find that people must struggle to know how to respond at times.
Yeah, like just going in for the first year or so, going in for a handshake, and people would go in, and it would be really nice what people do. They either take the hand and they hold it like this, or they give a proper firm one as if to say, "You're a fucking bloke." But then when it makes me really emotional. But like my mates from school, the guy mates, I hadn't seen them for 6 months, and then they see me and they come over and you see that moment of trepidation and just give you a little kiss on the cheek as if to say, like, even though that's cliche, it's like I've never had that my whole life. As a little, I never got to be.
Though, isn't it?
Yeah, what a lovely thing.
Yeah.
But I was never a little girl, so I never got. Like, my dad wouldn't give me a little kiss on the cheek. He'd be like, "All right, son." Yeah. So I never got any of that. So for someone to do that, even though it's an old-fashioned gesture, it's like it's really retroactively validating.
Yeah.
And to think that I was sexist towards guys when I was a guy because I thought I'm just really smart and you lot are all idiots. Yeah. Now that I'm a woman, I see so much that you have to go through that I never had that skill set, and the sheer understanding that you've got that sometimes you're not allowed to display. So you display it with women. Yeah. You talk to women, and even you've got that mate in school or whatever that was a girl. Yeah. I was going to say that was a bird. And it was suddenly an outlet where you could talk and you can be mates. I know it's hard for guys and girls to always be friends because sometimes often there's an element.
Yeah, it's normally for a reason, a season or something. It can be quite difficult. Me too.
Where I work with a lot of social workers, it's predominantly female.
Yeah.
So I've had a lot of friends with like girls, and like I'm kind of. Yeah, there's always a line there, but I love it.
Yeah, I was called gay for having as many girlfriends as I had. Not girlfriend, but friends who are girls.
So weird.
It's crazy,
I can have a proper conversation. Fucking hell, I can have a proper conversation.
Yeah.
And like, I'm itching to have a conversation. I don't, and all the men are like, "You don't like sport." Yeah. I hate if a woman says to me, "You don't like sport."
Yeah.
Like, you don't support a football team. I hate that. That really fucking riles me. And it's funny enough what you just said about being sexist towards men.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like that so many times.
Yeah, you see the cliche everywhere you look. Yeah. You're like, well, I don't feel like a man, so but I'm clever. You think like, oh, well, I'm clever. I know the world, and I don't feel like a man. So that must be wrong, and I'm right. Yeah. So look at all these Neanderthals.
It's almost like sometimes ignorance might not necessarily bliss, because I wouldn't want to be the other way, but like, well, I've worked in a lot of offices, and normally I walk straight in and the guy's sitting the other side of the desk, walk over, shake his hand, "Hello mate, I'm Brad, I'm doing such and such or whatever." And I remember quite a few times when I'd go to sort of like walk towards the secretary, or not necessarily secretary, maybe the CEO, like wrongly said there, like the woman, and I'd be like, "Oh, do I shake hands? Do I go in for a kiss? Why should I expect to go into a kiss just because that's what other people do?" So I started shaking hands, and sometimes the woman would kind of be a little bit kind of weirded out, but I'm walking into a room and shaking hands with whoever is in that room.
Yeah, it
shouldn't matter what gender they are. But it's mad, isn't it?
When the first time we went on like BBC Essex radio, and we went into the room, and there was the woman.
Oh,
there, Jodie was the presenter, and Brad went up, kissed her on the cheek,
sitting her up,
and I was like. And I feel really uncomfortable. I prefer a hug. You know, like when you came in, I'd rather have a hug because I'm all right with that.
See, I hug everyone.
Go for like, you put the hand out like that as if to say, "I'm opening up here." Yeah. Like, and then
I'm always like, we'll have a hug because I find that easier. Like a handshake with men, there's always this idea of like, you know, there's a hierarchy involved.
Different kinds of
And then
who's going to let go first?
Yeah. Who can squeeze the hardest?
I think we're being brought up by women, and my mum's a powerful woman. You know, my mum was always more successful than my dad. So I'm like,
I didn't even,
I don't feel right shaking hands either.
The thing is, I want to cuddle. I can't remember the guy's name. He come up on Twitter today. The producer there, his name is. He'll be listening as well because he listens to the podcast. I'm so sorry, Adam.
Over on BBC Essex.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Adam.
It is Adam. I want to cuddle him. Like my first instinct is to walk in and cuddle everyone.
Yeah.
But I feel more worried about how he would react cuddling me than how Jodie reacted to me cuddling her.
Yeah,
but why should it be any different?
I think the best thing is to do like I do it with some of the kids I work with.
Fist bump.
Like there's fist bumps, but they're all like once you get to know them a bit better, like they're all like teenage gangsters. They're all scary.
Right.
Do they?
Fist bump and
right,
then in
the
like
elbow in,
I don't know how
Hands
I'd
in.
feel going up to like
That's like respect.
again. I shouldn't judge, but I like walking into the BBC. Jodie's quite well spoken.
Oh,
and
no,
just
no,
going
no,
straight
no.
in for the fist bump
No,
and the
I
arm
tend
bump.
to go,
All right, love.
"Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Where are we going?
Well-
Move along.
It's like so if I get used to guys doing that and I think, oh, this is nice, so then I'll just treat that as normal, and then I pick someone who's insecure on a homophobic or transphobic way, which in their mind is the same thing, and I go in for a little kiss, all of a sudden I've committed like an act of aggression, and that's a horrible pressure to have. So sometimes I do this a lot. I just literally go, well,
That's a really good
right.
idea. Yeah.
just point.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah, and there's no religious element. There probably is a Buddhist philosophy, like in my mind, but
As a human, you've got two hands. You put in two hands together.
On The Voice, I was doing it all the time, and then somebody said to me, "So you're practicing?" I was like, "Practicing what?" And they're like, "Oh, I thought you were Buddhist." I was like, "No, I just do that." I didn't realise it was.
That's a really good shout. Because even when we got in the car, because we haven't seen each other for a little while, I went in for a kiss and you looked the other way. And
Oh,
it was
I'm really
really
sorry, I didn't
awkward.
realise. I didn't know.
It was only because you were like
I'd
settling
say
into
when
the thing.
Jordan
Oh, right,
and I
okay.
met, it was
Yeah.
when you got here, we just hugged. It was fun.
Yeah, no, like we normally hug, like we're friends, like we hug and kiss anyway. There's no awkwardness.
No,
but there
right.
was a second when I
Because we
thought,
haven't seen each other.
oh,
Oh,
shit,
right.
she hasn't noticed. And then like my face was there, and I thought, like, do I move back or like do I move forward? But it's fine because we went in for the kiss anyway.
That's
It's all
I
good.
always feel like
So sweet.
I feel uncomfortable. Like doing the kiss.
Yeah.
Because I always feel like I'm disrespecting my wife a little bit.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
shouldn't be kissing other women.
Yeah, mate, you're
I
right.
kiss my wife.
Yeah.
And I don't know. In those regards, I'm quite old-fashioned, although I'm very not manly.
You're right to
Sort of-
question that. What right have we got to walk
Yeah,
up
that's
to
what I mean. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
anyone and put our face
You're a girl,
next to
so
them?
I'll kiss you.
Yeah.
I can lay my lips on you.
Yeah, it's
It's dreadful.
It's probably that is literally cultural, isn't it? Because then there's places in Middle East and Europe where guys go for Italian,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
and that you think of mafia, you don't think. I don't know what I was going to
Yeah,
say.
they
You
all
think
kiss
manly
each other.
guys,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know, for
yeah.
this little thing. So it's it's what you're used to. But if you've got a reason for it, if you've got a semantic connection of I kissed my wife, that's nice. That's your thing.
I must. Keanu Reeves. Every photo, if you look at him, and if he's with like a female actress or another woman,
Yeah.
his hand is. Can you see it? Like that.
Are you doing it?
I do that as well.
He doesn't
yeah.
have his. He won't put his arm around.
No,
us.
I do that as well.
He'll have his
He
Yeah.
had
hand
a
out like that.
transgender girlfriend, I'm pretty sure, for a little while.
I do
Keanu
that
Reeves.
as
Oh
well.
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
It just
What a
seems
legend.
respectful. It's like
It is.
I'm not in a position to lay my hands on you.
Yeah.
So like I'm like,
Yeah.
like,
But what's scary is so many. I imagine a lot of men would have taken advantage of that,
And
gone,
a lot of
I'll
women
go in
would
for a little
assume
treat. I might be able
that
to feel a
to
bit
be
booby
okay.
here and
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
and that's something that it's okay.
I remember seeing something on Twitter the other day. There was a young lady who worked in an office, and she basically tweeted, "At what point did it become acceptable? Obviously, this is not verbatim. For a man to just lean over during a meeting and brush dog hair off of my leg." Because I had dog hair on my leg. And the thing is, that's cool. Like, if you had like a bogey or something, I go, oh, sorry, mate. But I wouldn't walk up and go, ugh.
No, you wouldn't,
But
no.
like, I can't help but think, unless they were like really pals in the office, that guy, what is he thinking of doing? And after the meeting, you'd go, look, I really don't want to freak you out or anything, but like, it's all good. But like, you've got a bit,
really
got a bit of
close
something
to
there.
my
Yeah.
private.
you know?
Yeah, because what problem was it causing? In the
Yeah,
middle of the
exactly.
meeting?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's not like she's like
She's
doing a
giving the
presentation.
presentation.
You're ruining it, love. Let me just get that roller thing out and
Yeah.
like sort you out. But like in my mind, that guy's thinking, I'm just gonna touch her leg.
That's
My
mad.
daughter's been doing air cadets.
I
and,
went air cadets. I loved it.
I hate it because I don't agree with loads of fucking rules.
Mm-hmm.
Don't agree with war or army.
I don't now, but I liked it when I was a kid.
So I'm a bit like, I'm not gonna throw my feet into this because I'm like, I don't fucking like army or war. Actually, I fundamentally disagree with it. However, if you're having a good time, I'm behind you. But like, that's sexist as hell.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, her hair's got to be a certain way. And there was a point when I had longer hair than her, and then they're telling them what to do with her hair, and I'm like, I wouldn't have that if it was me.
Yeah, we had to line up,
tell
and
them
they
no.
literally do like they do in the army, and you have to check your berets at one side, your shirt collar's
They
done,
won't let her have
shoes
trousers,
shiny. Yeah, you
and they're all
got.
freezing.
Well, they're still not letting them have trousers.
Well, apparently they do, but they don't give.
Because I remember there was a thing. It's so sad. I wasn't there that week, but one of the girls, there was like a rumor going around that this like girl had loads and loads of pubes. And no, listen, hang on. Oh, I shouldn't start telling this story now. Right, it is funny, yeah. That is funny. I get that's funny. But what had happened was.
It's the way you talk about stuff. I want to hear the end of this, but you just start saying something so matter of fact, and it's like you've got a punchline, but you don't realise it's a punchline. The thing you say, yeah,
no, that's not the joke.
We know it's not a joke, but the way you say
funny.
it, it's like how
massive amount of pubes. It's funny. Yeah. But what had happened was someone had maybe seen it or heard about it, and during when they were getting changed, they literally pulled her trousers down in front of like loads and loads of people, and it just completely destroyed her. And like she left, obviously. Like when I heard about her, sort of when I had a word with her and everything, but like that those environments are kind of created because of all of the rules and everything else.
Pressure builds, and
there is that kind of like urge to kind of go against it. Maybe
there is some small solace in the fact that most of everything would have been covered up by pubes.
Yes, definitely. So it would have just looked like some massive brown pants. Yeah. So there is
but
that.
If it's a boy, you'd wanted to go. Or anyone with a cock, you know, wanted to go.
Oh, you're so
you
2020.
Need to trim that back.
Yeah,
it'll make it look better.
Yeah, make it look bigger.
Imagine that. I've never seen it in real life, but picturing a fella with a not particularly well endowed, but for his bush to envelop that.
I have seen
a picture of that.
Yeah, I have seen that in the mirror every morning. No, I mean,
what would you wax it back so that you could see what's going on?
Yeah, I'll take that right
one year at Reading Festival when I was really drunk, I was having a piss and there was someone next to me, and you know what I mean, just like I just want to measure myself up,
right?
And there was a guy next to me.
I don't know what that
had nothing, proper nub, just poking through his pubes. And I just wanted to give him a hug.
But then it depends how much you'd had. It might have just been a woman.
Yeah.
She just got it.
It was massive.
Very large clitoris.
Don't you do that? Don't you ever do that?
Yeah, not really. No,
I do sometimes.
Not really.
What options do you get nowadays, though? Really, because you're not in school, so it's not like PEs.
No, the time that I saw like the smallest one ever was in
should.
the shower in PE, and we were made to shower while the PE teacher watched, and we had to like
couldn't do it. Ear problems.
Oh really? I should have used that. I've only got one here. I didn't think of that.
I couldn't
shower.
Like when I was until I was 11, I couldn't go in water or shower.
Oh right, okay.
So my mum, I could go to the bath. My mum used to have to wash my hair.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, it weren't that lovely.
Because the water fills the canal, so then you get
water.
Right.
Brain tumor or some shit.
Wow.
But you know, like. I still have problems with it.
Yeah.
I had an ear infection the other day, and that was all the same thing. It was all the same shit.
Yeah.
Fucking nightmare.
Rubbish.
So when you before you decided to be a woman, and I tell you what, this is really fucking great about just talk about this.
I'm really glad. People feel like they can't broach the subject. Usually it's also really cliche, but I knew that you were not going to ask any cliche questions, and I have been proved right. No. This is really nice.
You know all the other transgenders though, right? You all
every single one
hang out together. It's like black
people.
It's
like My wife's vegetarian, so I can talk for all of them. Yeah. That is being discriminatory.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. But I think for me, I remember like I was at work not that long ago, and everyone was talking going, well, how does it work with transgenders? And I was like,
what work? The trains?
Well, I was like, well, you know what? There's the internet. You can just ask questions.
Yeah.
And you don't have to feel like just ask.
But like you said though, porn does creep into it, and that is not factual.
I was going to say, if my nan asked and then I told her to go and Google, the thought of what would pop up.
I'm trying to work on a bit about this because it's so true. If I want to see myself represented in porn, which not literally me, but a transgender woman in porn, I the stuff I have to type in to get to the good stuff, the words I have to use are the offensive words for transgender people, like she-male or whatever. Because if you type transgender porn, you get 100 articles that say transgender woman in porn is decreasing.
Oh, right,
yeah.
Right. Sorry?
If you did it in RedTube, like a porn or porn.
Yeah, but if you type in trans, it's just that word is like, it's not a sexy word, so it's not used. And what I thought
a
is
media-y kind of word,
Right.
maybe. Yeah.
So I thought that is a corollary with people of colour, that if they want to get to the good porn, they have to type in words that are sort of old school and offensive, because that's how porn is labelled.
Yeah, that's true.
And that made me think about that a lot. Like, white guy, if you want to see yourself, you don't even think about it. You type porn, and that's white people doing each other.
Yeah.
Like, and usually the woman's got a vagina and the guy's got a willy.
Yeah.
So because you wouldn't think about it. So if I want to see that, I've got to be really specific, and the language I have to use is not language I'd use with a mate.
No.
And that to me is weird, but I think that would change.
Weird. That's got to change.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but it made me think about that.
Yeah, no,
right?
of course.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
So you're saying,
But is it supply and demand though? Maybe that maybe they
It's
must
the
look
highest
through
rated
like
thing.
what people are searching for.
You know what?
Yeah.
Like, I think people's sexuality is fucking like you say supply and demand. Like the supply is vast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you know, we kind of think about, like, when you think about your own sexuality, like, we're boring as shit. Like, most people's sexuality is through the roof.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just incomprehensible.
Yeah.
And so sexuality is this vast, amazing world of, like, magic.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, we're the boring ones.
Yeah.
That's what
Well, not
I
me,
think.
because I love like transgender, gay,
I like
black,
old
porn,
ladies.
Yeah.
sheep, ladies.
That's a lot together. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's
in one
very
thing.
niche. There's 2 videos.
Very niche.
I'm in one of them.
It's you asking for it to come. And then
Is
someone
there
else
anyone else out there that's interested in this, that? Give me a call.
I want to see old men having a poo.
Yeah,
That's
it is
all I
really
wanna
niche.
see.
Something. Buddy asked me. By the way, Kate, sorry if you're listening. I don't even watch porn anyway. But I don't know what is it. Buddy was like, he wanted to draw castles, and they were drawing castles at school. So I was like, wicked. I'll Google Castle Grayskull from He-Man, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's from memory.
So, well, you probably could. I thought it was like
It's
long.
a normal castle with a skull for an
I
entrance.
remember it being like a long face, but that might have been from Thundercats.
It's
But anyway,
strange.
I googled it anyway, and then the Urban Dictionary come up. Castle Grayskull. I thought, that's interesting. I'll have a little look. Obviously,
Person's private.
it's basically a Castle Grayskull in the Urban Dictionary, and obviously not verbatim, but it's when you get a blowjob off of an old lady. She takes her teeth out, obviously, and then just as you come on her face, you throw the ashes of her dead husband in her face. And that really tickled me. And what was most annoying about it was I couldn't share it in the room because Buddy's 5.
That's a lot of planning. That's a lot of planning.
It's very niche. Very,
I
very
went to,
niche.
like lemon parties.
What's lemon pie?
Lemon
It's
pie.
old gay people.
Why is it called
Really
lemon
old
pie?
Gay people that have an else. It's called lemon party.
Oh, right.
Lemon party.
Cool, I would have gotten in a lot of
Yeah.
trouble. I didn't know that. I would have thought it was like a cake thing. And
like
what's this
like
about?
a coffee morning.
Oh, everyone's really friendly.
Lemon
Yeah.
drizzle. That gives a whole new,
Lemon drizzle.
a whole new
Yeah, that
meaning
makes
to the
sense.
term lemon drizzle. Yeah.
Yeah. You got me thinking
My
now.
mate always used to say that. He used to sing it because it's that U2 song. Lemon.
All right, yeah.
And apparently lemon is another term for a lesbian.
Oh,
Oh, I did not know that.
a lot of the
Yeah.
same.
It's-
That
If you say it really fast, it's that sound. I think.
yeah, I
Lesbian.
suppose it does. Yeah.
Lesbian.
Lesbian.
My name on Urban Dictionary of the first top 5 things are a child born from the anus. Like, but that's
What?
5
A
different
Jordan
people.
Gray?
A Jordan, not that would be.
Oh,
that was my
that's
actual name.
horrible.
A Jordan, just child born from the anus, which any child of mine would have to be, because I'm not pushing one out of my willy.
No.
If they ever give me one of those implanted wombs,
Yeah, if you're
why
going to
did
get
you
one,
do
you just have to
that?
come out the
Yeah.
bum.
that's it.
I reckon I could take loads coming out of my ass. It really.
But
I
loads of
really
children, like puppies, you'd have like 15 of
I
them.
really
There's
think
101
it's all
Dalmatians.
A literal litter.
All that. the doctors over everything down there.
Yeah, but not having kids out your arsehole, mate. Come on.
That thing that they injected, imagine if it was like a, what do you call it? Like an embryo, like a frozen. They sorted it all out.
Yeah.
And they just slipped that in with
they're
the
testing
steroids.
you out. 9 months
the
later.
The concept of it, I'm not bothered with, but I do not want another child. I had this.
I'm all right with all your science, but I ain't having any more kids.
Because I do not want to have another kid.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Like, all of a sudden, like 9 months later, after having that thing, oh god, I'm fat. What's going on? Like getting all angry and like getting Sarah to go and get like weird food up the road and that. It's like,
I've been really fucked up with that because I hardly eat. Yeah. I mean, like, why am I getting fat?
I think it's great that men having babies. Yeah, I think it's really important. Why not?
Schwarzenegger film.
Oh gosh, I remember that.
That is
Junior.
It's a thing now. Like it, of course, when you say it, it sounds like Star Trek, and people got to get used to it, and that's fine. But there are women that are transitioned to men, and they still get their wombs, and they happen to be pregnant or whatever. Things go in things, and then a baby's made. And so a man's had a baby, and I can't have a baby as is, or I can't come out.
Do you want it?
No. It's for the same.
I wouldn't.
I haven't even got any.
Yeah, I was going to say that I love kids so much, but they're really hard work.
Yeah. But yeah, so the language is changing. Guys can have babies now, but before you say that, and you think that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I can't picture it for some reason. I'm thinking of Kindergarten Cop.
I'm thinking the twins.
Yeah, twins, because Danny DeVito's like a little baby.
No, because I might have had a massive.
Oh, you're still thinking about porn? You've gone back a conversation. I'm just thinking about twins.
I haven't fucking got into anything yet.
Well, I mean, we've covered like a lot of bases.
We've covered a lot of bases.
Yeah.
I think that's one as well.
What was that, like the end of it, or is that like a set timer? So
it's an hour of therapy.
It is.
Wow.
With me and Brad.
How'd you feel after your hour of just being?
It's been really nice. Thank you so much for having me, but
Thank you
just
for
also
coming.
for like talking about stuff I don't get to talk about very often. With a nice sort of, lovely candour. Really nice. Feel very welcome.
That's good.
Got a gift. Got this really nice gift.
gift.
Nick done me.
yeah.
Is it right to show it on
Bit of
camera?
love.
Yeah, it's a massive Toblerone.
Yeah. You know what? I said
this.
Eddie was begging me for a drawing that I did, and I sent it to him and he didn't get it.
That's so cool, mate. I
Isn't
love
that
the red
beautiful?
on that. That's really, really nice.
Really pops.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for
You
that,
are
and
good.
I
That's
hope
really,
it's
really
been
cool.
of some value to have a little chat with
Definitely.
me.
It's
Like,
been really good.
You're
I'll tell you
always-
what, this is the most fun I've had. Like, just
I knew it would be.
doing.
'Cause
It
you're
really,
cool
it
anyway.
really is.
So easy
Like
to
we
talk
normally
to.
have a laugh and that, and like quite often we get a bit teary.
Yeah.
We haven't got a bit teary this time, but like this is the most fun I've had since we've done.
Yeah, it's been nice. I've definitely
Yeah.
needed it. Definitely. I mean, we could have a teary one, but yeah, no.
I
not
did.
Today.
I almost started. We was talking about something before we literally started that got me all teary-eyed.
Was
you
it the
said you
twins
made up
porn
with
thing?
you made up with a
Oh,
mate. I
made
was
up
like,
with Sarah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like you just don't hear people just actively say, I made up with someone because I wanted to be their mate again.
Yeah, no, it's
I was
nice.
like, oh man,
That's really cool.
that's so lovely.
But I think that's quite like I just think, well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like you just think like there's this bit when you think, well, I'm a man and like we're men and we know like you don't back down, and I'm like, but I don't do that.
No.
So I'm not going to just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because that's really shit.
Yeah, life's too short.
And it's
Life is too
I'm
bloody
not
short.
afraid of looking not manly.
No.
That's difficult though.
Can be. Not for you.
Cool.
Yeah. Certainly
Not
not
for
for
me.
me. It's not for
Not
me.
For you either.
No. You are welcome to some of my estrogen tablets if you want, but I think you guys
I'll
are getting
give
on
it a
just
go.
fine.
Did you know? So when you started, so what was the process then? Did you have to go through like therapy to make sure that you were right?
No, it's a bit of a myth that you have to live as a year for a woman. That some people don't. I walked in and said, "Hello, I'm a transgender woman, and I'd like some tablets," but I went
What,
private.
did you
so
go
it's
to the
different.
you went private.
Private. And you have a consultation. Yeah,
How much?
Yeah.
You know.
a bit of a consultation, but not a long time. And I'm still private now. But then there's some people they need to go through 4 or 5 years, but it's nothing mandatory. It's like. It's just, I think it's common sense. And the problem is, load of GPs don't even know what it is now. So, yeah, imagine that, getting a GP that's like, yeah, exactly.
Don't depression.
But for me, it was all right. And my boobies were crowdfunded by all my music fans.
No, that's amazing.
And then it was done on a documentary on ITV1 called Transformation
Yes, of
Street.
course it was. Yeah, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
so they were seen on screen already, so that I've got no hang-ups about it. That and they're nice that they're sort of owned by my fans.
That's lovely.
I love that.
Has anyone ever asked to touch them? Because I remember my mate, his missus Karen, got new ones, and he was like, "Oh, do you want to have a feel of them?" And that's the weirdest thing, because yesterday she didn't have them, and like if I had walked up and said that was just dreadful.
Yeah,
I didn't.
My wife's an object.
Yeah, come and have a feel.
My wife had cancer, and she had a single mastectomy.
Wow, yeah.
So they took one off, and then they basically took stuff from her stomach and put it in there, and then basically they just found a fucking pig's ear here. Then they had to augment the other one. So
right.
Whereas in the initial choice would have been just to have like fake boobs.
Double mastectomy straight away into fake
boobs.
Yeah.
And it probably would have been much easier, but the problem is that you have to get them updated, didn't you?
Yeah, I've only found out like shockingly late into the game, but I'm gonna have to get them looked at. But they were all right.
Do they like
just the
deflate?
General wear and tear. No, these
they
are
don't last forever.
they're made of. These ones are made of silicone, but you know, like how a bird's bones are sort of hollow, like loads of little tunnels. Yeah. They're like that. They're called B-lights, so they're a third the weight of silicone.
Oh, that's interesting.
So they collapse.
Yeah. I guess they would over time collapse, but it means that they're not weighing down, so they're going to be like that for a while.
Oh, that's
at least it's the same stuff they use on the space station.
But
But no, mine are there, which is they're all right. I got really lucky that they're the same ones.
Very mature.
What, like picking?
No, to have like kind of.
Because you want.
If you don't mind me talking about your bosoms briefly.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's.
You haven't picked Baywatch tits, have you?
No,
You've picked, like your tits look like they fit you.
I chose a size down than they offered because otherwise it'd be. So sporty little. They move, but they're not. Thank you.
And then often people would want the nipples up here. Do you know what I mean, though?
And you get to choose if you want a tattoo of it on as well, because, like, So if you don't mind me talking about your nipples now, guys, they're not as big as girls. Like the nipples.
A tattoo around.
Yeah, so they say, do you
my
want to do
wife
that?
had that done as well.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I didn't do that because, again, for whatever reason, my hormones have worked really well. Because I don't drink, so that it goes straight there instead of being affected by anything.
Right, yeah, of course.
So they've gone to the right size. But you could choose a colour. There's like a Dulex colour wheel. They're like, what colour do you want? I didn't do it.
You have like one black,
my wife did
one
that.
white.
My wife did that with the NHS, and they did that like the colour wheel. And they've done a good job, but like the torments of cancer,
hassle, isn't it? Yeah, bloody
crazy shit.
Yeah, of course.
So did you feel really different after the tablets? Do you mind me carrying on a bit?
No, it's if that works for you.
Yes, fine. Yes.
It wasn't my place to say, was it? I was like, go.
Yeah, we're doing another round. Yeah.
No, I just figure we're here.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying
definitely
talking.
Yeah, of course.
So did you? So they stuck in the estrogen tablets.
Yeah, I take 8 milligrams a day, which is a lot, but it's because it's like vitamins. You know how you pee most of it out? Mm-hmm. You have to take loads to get an effect. So everything like goes all smooth and like face changes. So these muscles here, like that you've got, these muscles here, mine have disappeared, and all these muscles have disappeared. I used to.
Your cheekbones are good.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so
your cheekbones.
No surgery. Oh right, no, it's just my face, but muscles would have been there. Yeah,
that's my actual face.
No, I'm quite lucky. I've got no. I've had no implementation apart from these, but the fat on your body. This is so cool. Your brain, it releases these like neuropeptides that says where to put stuff, and when it's flooded with estrogen, it says put the fat on your ass and under your arms because the nature of like the female body, the way it moves and carries babies and stuff. So you've got it in different places.
So
that's interesting.
So the fucking caveman kicks in.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Wow. It's 100,000-year-old technology in the body. So I've got like my belly's normal, but bigger legs, bigger bum, bit there, and all the muscles gone. It's really odd, but I feel quite good. I think it looks good.
So cool. Really,
it is
cool.
Science, man. I feel like I'm in an episode of Star Trek when I talk about it. It's really, really.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's funny because like when I was trying not to lose my hair, I was taking tablets that gave me a female hormone.
Right. Yeah.
That you lose as a male.
Yep.
And and it made me want to kill myself for 10 years.
Really?
Right. Oh God.
So I wonder, it was a finasteride or
I had that, and it's horrible. I had to stop taking it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I take
No way.
Proganova, and then the finasteroid's the thing. It's like an anti-androgen, and it's I hated it. After 2 weeks, I said I feel like I've got no energy to do anything. I don't want to make music. I don't want to make comedy. It's horrible. It's horrible stuff.
Did you really?
How long did you take it for?
10 years.
That's mad, because I couldn't handle it for 2 weeks.
Well, what happened with me? I started taking it after we'd had my daughter. So what? 12 years ago. And then my hair thickened up fucking nice.
Right,
I didn't feel that bald anymore. And then I stopped taking it because you can't have it if you're going to have a kid. So I stopped taking it 3 years later when I had Jude. And then my hair really thinned out. And then I looked at it, and about 6 months after having Mia, after taking the drug, I was on massive amounts of antidepressants,
Right.
and I was suicidal as shit. And since I stopped taking it, about
So when we started this, I'm sure, or when we, because we did an episode about
like
it.
10 months maybe.
It's the drive.
I don't feel nearly, like, I occasionally get it, but I don't. Suicide is almost disappeared after I stopped taking it.
And your hair looks great anyway.
Yeah,
That's so good.
I don't know, man. I'm not happy with my hair.
Who are you comparing it to?
I'm comparing it to my brain. My brain's going, you're fucking bald cunt.
You're not though.
Sorry for the C word.
Not at all.
But you know,
Fine.
well, that's partly why I cut it, because I was getting a bit paranoid about this patch here. Look, you can see it.
No, man, looks good.
Well, I'll take that from you, Dildo. Thank you. And you, my man.
It's alright, I'm growing mine, so I know all about hair now.
I just think it's fantastic. I just think it's so lovely that you've just gone through all this stuff and you're just fucking on fighting form, aren't you?
Yeah.
This is so, like, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff we've talked about off of the show, but suffice to say, Jordan's doing amazingly well.
Yeah.
You're very kind,
really
thank
think
you.
It's cool as shit.
Yeah, we're proud.
You've
Super
inspired
proud.
me. I'm like, tomorrow, I'm going to be pushing the artwork in different directions tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Oh, fuck, sorry, I'm so glad that was I was going to be like, yeah, bloody do it. But
in my head, for a little bit, just as you said, I'm inspired now, and tomorrow I thought you were going to, like, you know,
take some estrogen.
Yeah.
Transition into a
that'd
lady.
be so amazing. I'd love
I
that.
don't know. Do you know what though? Like, it's been so many points in my life. Like we were talking about it with Adam, not like in our last episode when he was saying there was points when he was like, "Am I gay?"
Yeah.
Just because he just didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
He didn't feel like he fitted. And I've certainly had those points.
Yeah,
in my
me too.
life, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I know I don't feel right.
Yeah.
And there's been points, and I'm like, "Am I a woman?" Because so much of me is, I feel like there's a lot of me that's very feminine, you know. But actually,
No, you
I'm
hear
not
that
as I
and
should
like,
be.
yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm as I should be, and I shouldn't worry about that.
No, that's the
But
thing.
it's just, you know, like when you just don't feel comfortable in the world.
Mm.
And you said it earlier, and I really liked him when he said that, because it's like, I just don't feel right.
Yeah, I just feel like I serve the society I live in better now, and that's kind of what we all want. And it just not in an altruistic way. I'd like to think I can help other people, but it's for me. I feel like I do better now than I did before, and that's all I can aim for.
Mm.
And essentially, as a result, you give more to the world.
Hopefully, that's the drive comes from, like, if you quit smoking, you think, I've quit smoking, I might also go to the gym because let's double our money, let's like get the most bang for your buck. I've gone through all this shit, let's try and be the best bloody entertainer in the world, because then people will be like yeah, for generations to come, people hopefully will say, you know, transgender people, did you hear about that bloody, you know, that transgender woman from whenever, you know, the early noughties, and she was a comedian, she was that. I don't know, I feel like I'm leaving a legacy because there's so few of us.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we're the first lot to do stuff.
I think you're right.
It's amazing.
You're right, of course you are.
Yeah. And it's like you can be it's really easy to be the first transgender person to do something because there's so few. So like,
so amazing.
yeah, if I can't, but if I could crush this can on my head, I'd probably be the first one to do it on a podcast because there's so few of us, but I can't do it.
You're like, I had first transgender person to take a shit on a car.
Yeah, what else can we think of? Let's just do like a couple of days of just doing this. Set world records.
I was done it publicly.
No.
Yeah.
Have you managed to like last time when you were on when you did the hardcore Civic Call when we first met?
Yeah,
it was Hardcore Listening Live for Christmas special.
What's funny is I think you were like that was kind of you kind of right. I'm doing comedy, and you talked about Russell Brand a lot, which I liked because I love Russell Brand.
Yeah, I love him.
And have you managed to catch up with him? Then?
Not since.
They're not replying to me at the moment.
But,
Wankers. Russell.
He
My
will.
mum knows your mum, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
the lady that did my makeup for a little while, Nick Schuler, is Russell's. What's the word for it? Makes his face look nice. Not makeup necessarily, but like grooming and that. But yeah, that's so we have a little chat because I used to love the podcast. Like
Yeah, me too.
Him and
Yeah.
I'd see Trevor Lock though sometimes.
Yeah.
Off the podcast.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Not that. Why are we like make? I'm trying to make this 6 degrees of separation, but
But we have there's just the talks, isn't there?
Oh, I was in email conversations with his
Yeah.
Anyway, seems like a good time to end.
Does.
Thank you very, very much, Jordan. I
Thank
really,
you very
really
much,
enjoyed
Nick
it.
and Brad.
As I
It's been
said,
really
this has been one of the best. I really needed this tonight.
Yeah,
well.
me too.
I had a really shitty day. I really fucking needed some fun and some just to talk properly.
Yeah.
So thank you, Jordan.
Well, thank you for being so bloody. I feel like you've represented not just yourselves, but the kind of guys that I'd like to see more of in the world represented, and it's all on camera.
It is.
So it's not like people can see, how to be better people.
Yeah.
I've had a bloody good time. You're really nice. Thank
Lovely.
you.
But
Me
let's be
too.
friends.
Yeah. Sounds good
And
to me.
check out Jordan's TV show.
It's so good.
I've really, really enjoyed it. Thank you
Cheers,
so
man.
much.
I'll see
Thank
you
you,
soon.
big boy.
Thank
My
you,
brothers.
big boy. How can we have all of that stuff on like equality and non-sexualism and labellism, and you've signed off with big boy?
Big
Yeah, I
boy.
suppose
Fucking hell.
I am big boy. I guess.
We're adults.
Yeah, I guess so.
You're not using it in a sexist way.
Thank you, flower.
I like that. Have you seen Friends? Monica calls her privates a flower.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah.
I know, obviously I've seen it, but I didn't
Remember
remember it in that context.
Yeah,
I haven't
it's
just
a
called
flower.
you like Monica's privates.
You obviously haven't watched Friends enough. You are younger than me, though.
I've seen them all, I think. Just haven't seen Monica's
I've seen
privates.
all twice. My daughter's seen them all 4 times.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah. Oh man, I love Friends.
I love Friends, man.
And that's Comedy Central at the moment because they've got the rights to it. So
Yeah, they
Our
have.
shows and
That's
stuff,
why I've been really watching. I watch Comedy Central all the time.
It is good. Thank you.
thank
Thank you.
Oh, was it still recording?
Yeah.
Oh right, I've moved my mic away.
That's all right.
Cheers. Thank you very much. You're
Love
really
you all.
nice.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.